Morning people. On a lovely Saturday morning we have this beautiful T5 Caravelle in, which I wasn't really going to do a video on because it is only the bottom ball joints on these, but it was an absolute nightmare, the one on the passenger side. Let me show you. Look at the state of that. Can you see that? I know the sun is shining on my head, whether you can see that or not, but it is absolutely knackered. So, but we had a nightmare getting this out. The ball joint splitter isn't wide enough to be able to get in there to pop it. So we spent ages smashing the life out of it on the arm to actually free it off. So I thought to myself, let's show people how to do it. So let's get this wheel off and I'll show you what I did to replace these. And these are cheap. You don't need to replace the arm. These are interchangeable. Let's go. Right, so all we're going to do, just loosen these bolts so that we can drop the arm down properly. I think they're 21s from memory, but we will get these joint out first. You will not believe how rusty those bolts are under there. Absolutely awful bolts to get out. First things first then, we will tap these bolts up into the lower arm, which looks absolutely horrific. Oh. Done. Let's get this one undone under here. Oh. Make sure when you do this you don't have your hand underneath the gun, otherwise it will be wedged completely on the floor and that will hurt. So just make sure. Small socket, bottom ball joint off, bolt. So that one's out. Now we can move on to two M14 multi-splines, which are here. That's it. Same thing again. Don't let your hand go underneath the gun, otherwise it will crush it on the floor. And make sure that you've got an axle stand underneath the vehicle, because you do not want this coming down on top of you. I don't think a T5 Caravelle is very light, if I'm being honest. These bolts are so bad I can't even feel the thread on here. That's how bad these are. So what we're going to have to do is try and find the thread on this bolt, which isn't easy because it's rusted solid. That's it. And again, do not put your hand underneath this gun, or else it will crush it on the floor. Right. Unbelievable. That is unbelievable. And if you look on here, I'll show you. Look at the state of those bolts. Absolutely awful. Right, moving on to the next part. Okay, so we have got both bolts out. Look at the state of that. Look at the state of that. So both bolts out. Now what we can do is loosen off these lower arm bolts. This will then enable this to drop down, and then we can deal with this once it's out. So that's the next thing we're going to do. And I think from memory these are a 21. Yeah, we put some squirt on it this morning, so hopefully we'll be able to deal with that. Oh, that is tight. Everything on this vehicle is either seized solid or just, oh. But we won't take that out yet until I've dropped that ball joint off the arm. Right, so that bolt now should be nice and free. 21mm. I'm just going to crack off the one on the back. Same thing again. And same thing again. That's it. That's nice and loose now, so that will move. So now what we're going to do, we are just going to smash the bar arm off there. Right. So all we're going to use is just one of these, and all we're going to do is force the arm off the ball joint. That's it. So you'll notice when that ball joint comes off, that will come away from there, and now we can concentrate. Once we remove this bolt here, we can drop this arm down and concentrate on dealing with that ball joint there. If you just move the arm around, it will just pull out, and then we can drop the arm completely, which will give you more access to dealing with. There you go. So now we have this here. We can now attempt to hit this to soften up, because it's a tapered joint, as you can see with this new one. Because it's a tapered joint, it tapers into here and it wedges itself. So now we've got to try and free that out, and like I say, the ball joint splitter is not wide enough to go through here, so we're going to have to bang this to try and get this one out. So always fun. So we've got to try and get this out, which is an absolute nightmare at the best of times. There you go. And that is how you do it with a carb hammer. One removed ball joint. Oh, wish the other side was easier than that. The other side was absolutely seized in there solid. I thought I was going to actually have to replace the whole arm. So that was a nightmare. So we can now get to reverse of the same. Let's get the new one on. What I tend to do is you're going to have to clean where this sits up into the bottom of the hub. Look at the state of it. All that corrosion is sitting in where that sits, so we're going to have to clean that properly, otherwise it won't accept the new one completely flat, and then you will have issues. So all I'm going to use is that on the end of a drill. Always use your safety glasses, because this is going to go in your eyes if you don't. Right, so all we're going to do, I don't even know if I can actually, can I show you? Right, as you can see, where that ball joint sits in here, look at the corrosion in there, guys. So that has all got to be cleaned, otherwise it will not fit the surface area of the new one. So can I film this at the same time? Which I would probably say probably not. Look at that. Bear in mind I'm doing this one-handed. but you get the idea, guys. So let's get that done. That's it. Oh, now we can offer up the ball joint, see if that is going to sit totally flat, and guess what, it fits absolutely spot on. Look at that. I don't even need to put the bolts in, and I will show you. Look at that, it fits so well. I haven't even got to put the bolts in, just from cleaning it, guys. So make sure you do that, and then you'll have it completely flat. Right, now that is on, we can refit this arm.
You got it. I think.
That's it. That's it. Right, people, look at the state of me. That wasn't fun, and I thought I'd do it out here in the sun to give you the best opportunity of seeing everything. Look at that, broke a sweat, but as you can see now, all done. That's the tip. Smash it with a hammer, get it out, make sure you clean the surfaces properly, and jobs are good. And guys, see you on the next one.